We take it way up, higher than NASA on a launching lift. Off into the dark abyss, past the stars where the Martians live. Never will these archers miss their mark. You see the darts we spit, they've sharpened tips. We aim for the heart and hit what our target is. Like an arsonist, lighting a match up and then tossing it onto gasoline. We're torching this, homie, of course it's lit. Like Rick James on Eddie Murphy's couch, screaming out darknesses with no remorse. We kick that grime in this pond, we are sharks to fish.
This is a remix, get a beat, flip, rip it to beat.
What is good, loves? We are finally at the finale. As you can see, I am super excited. I'm excited primarily because, my God, I finally got it all out there. Everything's out there, everything's done. Everything you need is finally here. Whatever you're looking for DIY-wise, it is on this guide. I can't even lie, I'm excited. This has taken me months to bring it to play, from the writing of the PDFs, from the guides to the editing. Y'all, it's been a journey, it's been a journey. So for this finale, I'll be doing an apartment style cribs. Because I'll be taking you pretty much through all of my artwork that I've created so that you can see exactly see exactly what all you can make to show yourself that you are the limit, my love. You are the limit. You are the limit. The sky ain't the limit. The universe ain't the limit either. Honestly, you are the limit. You are the limit. So without further ado, let's get into the materials. I use my Cricut, my mats, my Weaver tools, cheap tape because my mats had lost adhesive, mechanical pencil to trace out my design, an X-Acto knife to cut out the inside of my design, scissors to cut around the edges of my design, paint brushes, white poster board to trace and paint on, black poster board just as my background, white cardstock for my smaller designs, spray paint, cheap acrylic paint, and double-sided tape. And of course, materials are optional because this is as freelance as you can get it. This is as from scratch. This is like this whatever materials you can find and you can cut around and paint and plaster to a wall, it is your home decor. You can literally do however which way you can make it happen, Captain, okay? So for this demonstration, I'll be showing you how I created my chakra notes. I'm showing this primarily because, as you can see, all these small letters needed Cricut. So I'm going to be showing you how I did my chakra. So I'll be showing you how I did my chakra notes, primarily because it involves literally everything that I've learned about how to make home decor, is the best way to put it. From using it just tracing it straight from my computer and cutting it out with scissors and an X-Acto knife, and all the way up to using my Cricut for it to cut out the smaller words. So without further ado, let's get into it. So after first consulting my mats to get my measurements together, I went into my Cricut system and uploaded all of my chakras. After bringing all of my chakras to size, I then changed all of their colors and hid all but my root chakra. After strolling through the fonts, I landed on Constantina and Nalika Signature for my major fonts. Now done with the resizing and coloring, on to the hard part. For the notes themselves, I used the entire size of the poster board to my advantage. Then I got my long mat and measured out to see exactly how much inside space I could use for my words. For this part, I would recommend tapping wrap on. That was something I did skip in this demonstration, my apologies. But wrap on would allow you to automatically arrange your paragraph the way that you need it versus having to hit space every single time or hit enter every single time. And of course, once more, this is for demonstration purposes, so I did not complete going through every single chakra. So once everything was designed and organized and ready to go, I went ahead and cut it. For the shape of my notes, I found an image on Google, pulled it up on my computer, and then grabbed a piece of paper and literally just traced the edge. After that, I put that paper at the edge of my poster board, traced around it with a pen so that it embedded into the poster board, and then I literally just cut it out. Once I had the black background cut out, I grabbed my other poster board and cut around the edges for the inside. So with everything now cut, time to get the painting. I first painted all of my gold letters, including the little commas and the inside periods and dots and whatnot. Then starting from the root all the way up to the crown, I went from red all the way up to purple, painting through all of the colors. So now with every little piece painted and bagged away in their individual baggies, time to glue them on. I first placed each piece dry on the poster board just to make sure I have my placement right, and then I just picked them up directly from where they at, and one by one placed a little bit of glue at the back and glued them right back into place. With everything now finally done, time to grab that double-sided tape. Being that double-sided tape is so thick, you'll have to cut them down into like sections of 4s in order to get them onto the smaller pieces. To apply your double-sided tape, my suggestion would be to first cut it, tape it directly onto your piece, and then peel the backing off. And trust, if you have a lot of small pieces like I did, just give yourself patience. You will absolutely love the end results. So once all your tape is set and you've taken the protective backings off of all your tape, place it on your wall. Now when placing it, you can either eyeball it or you can just gently tap anywhere on your design where the tape is, let it gently sit on your wall, see if it's placed right, and if it's good, then just firmly press the rest of your tape in. And voila, you got home decor. And since this will be my last DIY video, at least for right now, I'm gonna give you a tour of my home just to show you exactly what you can do with poster board, cardstock, and some paint. My Ephesians shield is one of the originals. This was one of my very first designs that I made when I first got into my apartment. For the shield itself, I literally used I used 3 poster boards, primarily just to get the right shape of it. I first taped the pieces together, and then I literally painted on layers of glitter until it was thick enough to where it can sit by itself without falling apart. For my cross, I used cardstock. As you can see on the arms, I used a few different pieces of the cardstock in order to make it come together, and I ended up just spray painting it after. My Ephesians, cardstock again. I let Cricut cut it out for me, painted on some gold glitter with Mod Podge. Then once dry, painted it over with some red paint. My Glory 2, I used cardstock and I just hand painted it. For my God, Amun, and Live in Peace, it was all in cardstock, but I spray painted God and I just hand painted Amun and Live in Peace. These are also a part of the original designs as well. Like I've never taken these down. These been up since I first started creating these. And as you can see, it has withstood the test of time, cleaning and all. God's House, another original, and yes, again, another piece of cardstock. And yes, I spray painted this one as well. Even after a few hits from my bleach spray by accident from when I was cleaning, it's still looking good. My Princess Jasmine with the crown was all cardstock as well, and of course a part of the originals. And of course the reason it's in the hallway now and not in her room is because after 2 years kids just change. For these, I first painted with glitter, and then I got the pink paint and painted it for Princess and Jasmine, and then I got white paint and painted it over the crown. After that, I glued it to the fabric, and originally it was hanging over her bed with some lights. The hallway we are actually going to go ahead and skip past. Yes, all of it was in cardstock. None of it was poster board. This was a part of the original as well. That's why everything is kind of beat up right now. It's going to be under construction. Now, on to my room. Previously religious and now an evolved spiritualist. Goddess, translation for me is God is. Acknowledgement that we are one with God, but not the God. For all of the letters and symbols, I allowed Cricut to cut it with cardstock, and then I just hand painted it. My B and J is derived from the High Priestess tarot card. B is for Boaz, which means in him is strength, and J is for Joachim, which means raised by Yahweh. For each, I used 2 pieces of poster board for their backgrounds. And then instead of allowing Cricut to cut the words and the pieces for me, I ended up just drawing them and hand cutting them out myself. After each piece was cut, I painted on my glitter, waited for it to dry, and then painted on another layer of gold paint just to make it pop a little bit more. For my archangel names and for the shields, all of it was cardstock, and I of course allowed Cricut to cut it all for me. For my phoenix and its banner, I chose poster board. I found the phoenix, the banner, and the vines on Google. It took a bit of cutting and resizing in the Cricut system, but as can be seen, it came out phenomenal. To get the 3D effect on the banner, I had to duplicate it, contour the background where you see the gold at, and then just leave the black as is. I let it cut like that, painted everything together, then glued it on top, and that was the end results. For my Archangel sigils, I used about 8 poster boards total. After taping my center circle together, I then spray painted each and every single piece. For those inside letters, you already know I let Cricut do it. So once the paint dried, I pretty much just lined up each piece on their sigils the way that they needed to be, picked them up one by one, and glued them back into place. My scroll is still a work in progress. Since I was determined to let Cricut cut it for me, I had to cut it in half in order for it to cut properly the shape that I needed. And I did the exact same painting and gluing that I did with my Phoenix. Now my hand of fate was a lot different. I used poster board for all of it, of course, but I literally hand drew every single tiny piece that you see on this design. And honestly, the only reason I didn't let my Cricut do it for me was because my computer at that point was getting on my last nerve. My computer was literally going so slow that I just pulled the pictures up and started tracing them. And after I had each piece traced out, I traced them out onto my poster board, got my X-Acto knife, and got the cutting. And for my moon cycle, I went through the same process. And last but most certainly not least, my throne room. Once more, I did these on poster board and I just simply traced out the words. After cutting out my inside pieces, I then retraced around them so that they could have an outline around the words. And once it was all cut out, I hand painted it all, glued them together, and then placed them on my dough. And that's, my loves, is how I created my home decor. So, if you liked what you see, hit the like button. And of course, if you want to see more, or if you're just curious to see exactly what I'm finna come back out with, or you're curious to see exactly what I'm finna come back with, hit the subscribe button, because I can guarantee you will not be disappointed, especially if you love everything God-oriented. And when I say God-oriented, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I speak this outside of religion. When I say God, I mean like this is God's work. This is how I see us manifesting the will of God. When they say work by faith, faith without works is dead, this is me working my faith. All of this is me working my faith. Every single bit of these videos that I've shown you is me working my faith. So, without further ado, this is everything. That's it. That's all, folks. And I just pray y'all have a blessed, beautiful, and lovely day. And I pray that your journey as well. Your DIY journey, your journey in life, your journey in general. I just pray that you receive every single thing, every single bit of information that you need, every single bit of guidance. And I pray that you're able to receive it within the light and within the understanding that you need to grow. So until then, y'all stay blessed, loves.
This is a remix. Get a beat, flip, rip it to pieces. Get a seat, we up in the winter suite, finna eat. We sitting with Jesus, dropping it for the God risen. He alive, living in the midst of the people. Try me, and if you're not feeling it, then bye. Really, I ain't feeling you either. Whether or not you feel it, I'm not forgetting what God has given to me. I could be locked up inside the prison and not to visit or preach. God willing, I'ma give him the gospel till I'm not in position to speak. You can knock it, but I'm a